Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely well. Guys, in this video, we will be discussing Cognizant 2025 campus hiring updates, that is including your three roles, which is GenC, GenCNext and GenCPro. We will be covering topics like expected cutoff, interview process and important updates when it comes to GenC hiring procedure. Okay, so if you are also preparing or if you are going through your recruitment process of Cognizant GenC, let me know in which phase you are. Either you have completed your aptitude assessment or tech assessment, or you have already completed your technical interviews also. Let me know your current status. Now let's get started with our today's video. Before that, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I regularly post these kinds of helpful videos for all of you. Also, there is a complete playlist on Cognizant Prep, okay, which is related to your GenC examination. So if you are also going to appear for your interviews, I have already posted GenC interview experience, where I have discussed technical interview questions and HR related interview questions. Make sure to check those videos. It will be super helpful. Let's start with the updates. See, first of all, Cognizant is hiring like for three different roles this time, okay, and it is going to be your GenC, GenCNext and GenCPro. Now, for the salary that you are going to get for each role, it is going to, for GenC it is going to be 4 LPA, for GenCPro it is going to be 5.54 LPA, and for GenCNext it is going to be 6.75 LPA. So that is why I am telling you guys, like, give your best, because just a little effort of yours can increase your salary by 2 LPA or around 2.5 LPA, which means a lot, because ideally if you want to grow this much in your career, you have to work for around 2 years or 1.5 years. Okay, so this is a very good opportunity that the company is providing. So let's talk about the registration period. Okay, so registration period was from January 24th till 31st. The first round was completed around February 5th, okay, followed by the aptitude and technical assessment on February 14th. Interviews are scheduled from 25th onwards, and results for shortlisting are expected around 22nd to 23rd Feb. Okay, now guys, you guys have asked me a lot of queries also, so that is why I have told you this time duration, so that you will aware that when can you expect your interview emails. Okay, now selection process and cutoff, let's talk about that first of all. So exam status, we have already seen aptitude, technical assessment and then interview. I know most of you have already completed your technical assessment and are waiting for interviews, but we have also seen that few are getting again emails for completing aptitude test and technical assessments. Okay, like they have already given, but they are getting again emails, so that is why it was important to cover. Now next is your aptitude cutoff. Okay, so 30 questions in 30 minutes were there, which included your quantitative aptitude, deductive and inductive reasoning and gamified assessment. So the expected cutoff in this case is going to be 15 to 20 correct answers. It may vary based on your difficulty and available seats also. When I say available seats, what I mean is, because in your college, how many candidates are appearing for GenC, okay, and in that also what was the level, okay, how many, like if there are many students who have already solved 20 questions, then the cutoff will go high. But if there are many who has only cleared 10 questions, okay, so then the cutoff will go low. So in this way the cutoff will range. Okay, higher scores improve your chances, that is obvious. Next is your technical test. Okay, so in technical assessment, candidates are selected based on the aptitude. For technical test, candidates will be having their second round of assessment is technical test basically. So you have 3 clusters, as we have already prepared from our videos. Okay, if you have not prepared, and if you are still going to have your technical assessment, you can check those videos in that playlist. So there the 3 clusters were, cluster 1 was Java based, cluster 2 was Python based, and cluster 3 was your C# based, right? And each cluster had 2 coding questions, and you have SQL queries, and some of them were having web development related coding part. Okay, now what after the technical assessment? So guys, understand that your final result or your final performance depends on the overall performance of your aptitude and technical test. Okay, so for example, if you have solved 2 coding questions, okay, 2 SQL queries and HTML CSS part, and scored well also in aptitude, then you have a high chance of getting GenCNext. Okay, if you have solved 1 to 1.5 coding question, 1 to 1.5 means what? One you have completed with full test cases, and another you have completed with like half of the test cases, and then you have covered 2 SQL queries and remaining HTML CSS part, so you may get GenCPro. Okay, then if you do not solve coding questions but did well in SQL, HTML and CSS and aptitude, then you may get GenC, which is the basic role. But it also depends on the, as I told you, Cognizant evaluation and also the cutoff criteria or the competition from your college. That is the main important part. Next is your interview dates. Okay, let's understand about that. So shortlisted candidates basically will receive a letter of intent. Okay, interviews will be conducted in person at Cognizant offices or like your colleges. Okay, so based on the assessment scores, Candidates will be invited for GenCNext technical interview. Advanced technical questions related and problem solving questions will be asked to for GenCNext role. And for GenCPro, in technical interview, coding questions and problem solving questions will be asked. And in GenC, normal GenC, which is your you will have your technical questions and HR, in which your basic technical questions and HR related questions will be asked. Okay, so there are some tips, okay, which I have for all of you. So as I covered all the points here, there are some tips which you can follow for having a good result in your interviews and getting shortlisted in your interviews. First thing is, if you haven't practiced aptitude and coding, I would highly suggest keep on practicing aptitude and coding on daily basis, because you have to understand that Cognizant GenC is not your last role. If you don't get selected in this, then what? You have to start all over from scratch for other company. So you should not consider that, okay, I'm appearing for this one and my aptitude is done, so I don't need to practice aptitude, okay, I don't need to practice coding. It is a continuous process. You have to understand that first of all. Next is your choose your cluster wisely. Okay, I have seen many of you, they have not thought much, okay, when you were registering, so what cluster should you choose, and then later on you were good in Java but you got a cluster of C#. So that is why I always say choose your cluster wisely again. Next is your prepare for your SQL and web development questions. These are very important when it comes to non-coders, because if you are not very good with coding, you might get questions related to this in your this one also, technical interview also, and when it comes to your technical assessment also, you might ace in SQL and web development questions at least, right, if not in coding questions. Next is your time management. Answer maximum correct questions within the given time, and this time management and all I'm talking about, you know, the assessment part. So you have to make sure, because you know we have seen that a lot of you have knew the answers but they didn't have time for completing it, right? So this is very important that you manage your time wisely. Mock interviews. So if you have already completed your aptitude and your technical assessment, now I would highly suggest you that please prepare for technical and HR interviews to boost your confidence. And don't just read interview questions, also keep on reading the conceptual based questions also. For example, DBMS, what are the important concepts, because you never know from where the questions will arise, right? Interview experiences and interview questions are good for your like, you know, actual interview experience, like how you will get the questions in your interviews, for that purpose. But that does not mean that just by reading those and just by checking those you will get you will clarify your interviews, right? So guys, that's all for today's video. Hope this video was helpful for you, and if you have any queries, you can ask me in the comment section below. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet, because I'm going to post more content. And if you have any request for any other content, you can ask me or DM me on Instagram also. I have given my Instagram ID and Telegram ID, so you can join me there too. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching the video.